Hello everybody and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. We have just had a very big argument with Rin, and we kept trying to bring up our feelings again before Rin finished her exhibition, and she didn't like it, so we got frustrated because she was like, "Hey, sorry about that. That was a little uncool of me to ask you to do that. Let's pretend like it never happened." And he's like, "But what about my feelings?" And she's like, "I don't have time for your feelings right now, Hisao." And then he got angry and he stormed out of the room. And then she finished her exhibition and she was gonna go and say something to Hisao, but he was so angry that she couldn't really get in a word edgewise. A headache is relentlessly thumping against the back of my head as I push open the door to the 22nd corner. Apart from that, I'm perfectly calm. After venting on Rin all that anger that I had bottled inside, I felt like a great weight had been lifted from my heart. The tension that had grasped my mind for the past few weeks faded away without leaving even a shadow behind. In this nearly zen-like state of enlightenment, I realized that perhaps it was a bad idea to yell at her like that. I really meant it, but what good does blowing up like that do? Absolutely nothing. I'm not like that. I don't normally yell at people. I don't know why I did yesterday. So I keep feeling really guilty about it and wanting to take my words back. Rin is probably upset too. Even more than my own behavior, her reaction shocked me. She's still a person. I've always thought of her as unchanging, detached from her surroundings, so that seeing my yelling get her so upset felt out of place. I wonder if she understands how I feel. In Rin's world, everything seems to be so absolute and subjective, absolutely subjective, as if she was completely unable to see things from other points of view than her own. So ultimately, is anyone able to do it? Maybe objectivity and altruism are just illusions for people who like to think of themselves as compassionate. Just like art is illusion for people who think reality is merely a veil for something greater. Even when you stop thinking that the world revolves around you or start thinking outside of the mythical box, you are just inside another bigger box that you can't escape. Maybe that ultimately makes her like the rest of us. She's just like the rest of you, and that she is a human and she still has feelings even though she's detached. She says all the time that she has feelings, but she doesn't know what to do with them, because anytime she tries to express them, nobody understands what she's saying. Good doy. I stepped through the door to find a gallery full of illusioned people. Why are they illusioned? What makes them illusioned? Despite Sai's remarks during my earlier visits, I always thought it was very spacious, but now when it's crowded like this, it looks positively cramped. Oh no, she's drowning in people! Help her! I immediately noticed Sai standing in the middle of a lively discussion, busily chattering with some old gentleman. She's actually pretty tall and kind of cool looking, so she stands out in the crowd. There are a few dozen wine glasses laid on the tables along the back wall, filled with burgundy liquid. A vast majority of the guests are sipping from their own glasses. The socialites and art connoisseurs are mingling happily, exchanging mild opinions about Rin's art, which seems to be a secondary objective of interest for most. I feel distant, excluded from the other people here. I can't claim even at a stretch to be a social chameleon, so this situation is quite unnerving. Since I don't blend into the crowd at all, I just fake that I do, trying to look as cool and smooth as I can. I wonder how Rin is handling all this. If it was me, I would be quite freaked out. Throwing the anxiety aside, I try to carefully navigate through the crowd, stealing peeks at the framed paintings now hanging on the walls. Ah! Look at all these. There's a lot of feelings here. Rin's exhibition takes about half of the gallery's wall space. Some paintings are less familiar than others, but I recognize most of them. Some I've seen being created at the art club meetings after all, or remember from the time when Rin was choosing her portfolio. I note that a couple of the unfinished paintings are framed and on the walls as well. Maybe that's what they call coincidental art? This one's Hisao. He's in the woods. Even Rin's failures, if you can call them that, become exhibits of her skill. Quite paradoxical. She herself is nowhere to be seen, which is strange because even though it's crowded, the gallery is pretty small. It's fine, sort of. I don't know how to face her after yesterday. Maybe I shouldn't have even come. But I promised various people, Rin included, that I would, so... Damn, it sounds like I do the things I do because some kind of instinctual properness compels me to, not because it would be sensible or not. I sneak closer to Sai to wait for a lull in the conversation so I can chat her up too. Even though her voice is almost completely buried under the general background noise, I hear bits and pieces of her talking about Rin. Yes, she is a high schooler at a local school. Even though she's graduating next year, I'm sure various art schools would be interested in. I thought it'd be interesting to have an exhibition of someone who is still in the early stages of development. It's so strange. It's like Rin is some kind of mini celebrity, even though this is nothing but a small exhibition opening at a small art gallery of a small town. Well, that's where a lot of people start. In fact, there's a friend of mine from... It's Hisao! I assumed that was, the teacher. It might not be. My eavesdropping is interrupted by a familiar voice and a familiar slap to the back. I don't need to guess the source of either, even without turning around. Oh, it's Emmy. Just kidding. Hi, Emmy. Aw, look, she's in a little outfit. Hi! Are you, like, a representative of the art club or something? I don't see anyone else from the school here. I don't know, really. I guess I am, if that's the case. What about you? What about me? You didn't think I'm interested in art? Is that it, Hisao? No, that's not what I... Well, maybe a little, if you put it that way. I mean, even though you hang out with Rin, I've never heard you talk about art with her, so... Emmy huffs and looks around her, looking discontented. It's true. I don't get it at all, but she came to my track meet, so I thought it's only fair to return the favor. Wink. She leans closer, trying to look confidential, but only managing to look conspiring. Do you get art? No, I don't. At all. My emphasizing headshake draws a giggle and a cheery headshake of her own out of Emmy. Me neither. Hey, let's go talk with Rin. I bet you haven't yet because I haven't either. Come on. There they are. Before she has a chance to forcefully drag me to Rin, Nomiya appears behind her with Rin in tow. She's not dressed for the occasion, instead opting for the usual school uniform and unkempt hair. Maybe her natural look is what suits her the best. Hello, teacher. Hi, Rin. Unfazed, Emmy greets the teacher cheerfully, causing him to turn around and look down confusedly. I guess she's short. Who are you? I'm Emmy, from school, class 3-4. Don't you remember? She looks positively shocked at the prospect that there could be a person who doesn't know her. Oh, sorry, you're in the same class as Tezuka is, right? Yeah. You'll have to pardon me, I have trouble remembering students who don't take art. So basically, fuck you. Don't mind. Hi, Rin. Hello. Congratulations for your super cool art thing. I'm sure you'll be a big hit. She throws her arms into the air for boisterous emphasis, almost hitting me in the face. You deserve it. And look, Hisao came too. Rin doesn't look at me, nor does she greet me. You don't deserve a greeting. Congratulations, Rin. Rin? She keeps averting her gaze, pointedly looking at her sandals. Oblivious to the tension between us and ignorant of what happened yesterday, Emmy keeps on blabbering about this and that to an unresponsive Rin. I guess she's used to not getting much out of her at times. Before long, Nomiya and Sai return to Rin, introducing her. Expecting it, I catch the second of confusion when the guests see her arms. Sai is luckily on the ball and briefly explains about our school. Doubtful faces quickly change to curious. Would you mind telling us something about your art? I thought the development is quite easily noticeable. What do you yourself think of the differences between the older and more current works? It's quite rare for someone so young to dabble in abstraction.
It would have been interesting to see how you work. Oh, definitely. I assume you use your feet. Must have been a great trouble to learn it. You should be proud.
Will you be pursuing a career as an artist after school? She's bombarded with so many questions she can't even hope to answer all of them. Maybe that's the best for Rin. Maybe that's for the best. Rin tends to talk nonsense more than occasionally. So where do you get your ideas? That's the fifth worst. Rin keeps stumbling with her words, looking more and more vexed by the expectant inquiries. Everyone is waiting for her to say something, but she looks like a cat got her tongue. Each question piling up just adds to her distress. I fail to hear the question that is the proverbial one too many. It's like a motor stalling. Oh damn. She shut down. Rin just freezes for a long, long second until she falls to her knees, hitting the floor ungracefully like a sack of potatoes.
Are you alright?
I don't know. Tezuka, what's wrong, girl? I don't know what's wrong. A terrible silence falls upon the people gathered around Rin. Everyone is petrified, not knowing how to react to her sudden seizure or something. She breathes with deep trembling gasps as if she was running out of air, staring ahead of herself with hollow eyes. Seeing that nobody does anything, I force myself to step to Rin and lift her up from the floor, letting her lean against me to keep standing. Would you like some fresh air? Okay, let's go outside for a bit. I don't even wait for her to answer before grasping her shoulder and pulling her past the stunned-looking Nomiya, Sai, Emmy, and guests. Excuse us. We are leaving. The cool evening breeze hits my face at the door. I let go of Rin as she leans against the stone wall, trying to catch her breath. Are you alright? I couldn't say anything. Rin is still not looking at me, so I look away too. The streetlights and colored neon signs twist my vision into a blur of near blindness, forcing me to look back. At least she talks, even if she's not directing her words to me. What did you want to say? Maybe both of us can imagine that we are talking to an invisible friend. I don't know. Something that would have meant something? The silence lasts for a long time. I don't feel comfortable being alone with Rin. I'm not good at imagining things that don't exist, do, or that things that exist don't. We should go back in. The guests I invited are in there. They probably want to meet you and talk with you. You know, ask you questions and stuff about those paintings you work so hard for. I don't want them to ask me questions like that. I can never say the right things. What do you want then? I want them that someone wouldn't have to ask questions from me. But aren't you happy people are interested in your paintings? That someone wouldn't have to ask questions from you. But if you found someone like that, then what? But aren't you happy people are interested in your paintings? I don't really like this bottom answer. If you found someone like that, then what? Because it makes it sound like I'm gonna white knight her. I don't want to white knight her. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. But aren't you happy people are interested in your paintings? I mean, isn't that why you went ahead with having the exhibition and all? Of course they would ask you questions if they think it's interesting. It's like having sunrise twice in a row when you want to bathe naked in moonlight. Ah, yes. Nice, but it's not good enough. I complete the sentence for her even though I don't understand her inappropriate metaphor. I don't get it. You should try to be happier. It's your big night after all. All these people are here to see your paintings. I think it's awesome. I wait for her to say something, either for or against, but Rin keeps brooding. She doesn't want to answer questions or explain to me what's wrong. I don't know if it's that she doesn't want to, or that she doesn't have the capacity to. If she had something to say, the words are left unspoken. The words that she cannot say. I shudder against the chill wind that blows in the streets, and its howling fills the silence. We should go back in. You've got everyone worried. He doesn't look too worried. Ah, there you are, feeling better? It can get pretty hot in here. A dizzy spell can catch you off guard. He laughs brashly, almost obnoxiously. You should drink something if you're feeling weak, Tezuka. Ren nods weakly, but it seems to be enough to convince Nomiya that she is fine. He pushes Ren a bit forward to introduce her to the person he was conversing with before. So about what we were talking about before. Yes, I'm very excited to meet. I am shut out of the conversation, and the background noise of dozens of other discussions fills my ears with indistinct buzzes. Even Emmy has disappeared somewhere. Standing in the middle of a crowd is a surprisingly lonely feeling. Not only Ren, but everyone else here seems to be a part of something I'm not part of. I'm happy for her, I really am, but it makes me feel that I haven't accomplished anything yet. Ren is living proof of the potential of a human being. She overcame her disability, even made it a strength. She should be happy. You can't push your happiness on people. What is my potential? Ren made it this far, but how far can I go? Boom, 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 boom. Yay! The last day before summer vacations is waning slowly. Science is the final exam of the trimester, and then we are free! The collective yearning for liberty is almost palpable in the classroom, even though the weather seems a tad cloudy. It might rain today, who knows? What is going on here? I've already finished the test because it was pretty easy. So I'm doodling lazily on the flip side of the paper, waiting for Muto to call time. There's a lot of Rens, and there's Yuko, and there's a bird. Is that Kenji? He's a fool. It also prevents Misha from trying to covertly look at my answers over my shoulder. Cheater. Is this Muto? He's a box. This is Emmy, she's a tank. She might fool the inattentive teacher, but I can tell that she's trying to look. I guess it's her best bet at passing the test. It doesn't make me feel any mercy though, so I just ignore her and look around me. That's a you problem, Misha. It's quiet. The only sounds in the classroom are the quiet shuffling of papers and Muto's constant coughing. What is his deal? It makes my awareness of the surroundings slowly drift to the backstage of consciousness, giving room to other things. Vacation, huh? Some people will stay at the school even over the holidays, some will go back to their families. I probably should make the trip back home and report to my parents that I'm alive and well. Can't you call them? I mean, you should have some kind of phone, or at least have access to a phone. Not much to do at school anyway, I suppose. Next trimester will be stressful. Everyone will have to seriously start thinking about what to do after graduation, including me. A look at my doodles convinced me to stop trying to salvage them. It's a mess of lifeless lines, a waste of paper if it wasn't the flip side of my exam. Maybe it's because I didn't really set out to draw anything in particular. I just wanted to kill some time so the drawing became exactly like I am, without a direction to go to. It'd be easier if I had some special talent like Rin. She has it easy. Sure. It makes me kind of jealous. It pisses me off that she herself can't seem to be happy about it. Don't be pushing your insecurities on other people. She has problems too. Muto. And time. Muto's call for the end of the exam draws groans of displeasure from half the class. But I've been done. I don't blame them. The exam was kind of tricky. Muto expects a lot from our class, even though it's not strict at all. I guess he'd like all of us to become scientists. Put down your pencils and turn in your papers, please. The biggest groan comes from the desk to my side. Misha's despair is almost tangible. The dark aura of lost hope emanating from her seat makes me simultaneously frightened of and sympathetic to her. Now then, there should be homeroom before you're free, but I only have a few announcements to make, so this should be over quickly. His announcements are never important, so I listen to him with only with one ear. The other ear I stuff full of little pieces of paper that I ripped off of my notebook. Misha seems to be too down in the dumps to even pretend attentiveness. She slumps her head against the desktop, looking stricken. Cheer up, Misha. It's vacation. Don't worry about the test.
Thanks, Hee-chan.
Her frown becomes a small smile and a sparkle of excitement lights in her eyes.
What are you going to do over your summer vacation, Hee-chan? I'm going to Shi-chan's place. They have this awesome and super cool mansion. I'm so excited. I'm sure it'll be the bestest summer vacation ever.
She seems to have forgotten all about her misery in a few seconds and bounces up and down on her seat as if to pump up her excitement. I don't really have any plans, I guess.
Is that so? Maybe you should...
A finger tapping her shoulder steals Misha's attention away from me. Shizune points to Muto, who is expectantly looking back at the two of them.
Oops, sorry, Shi-chan. I didn't notice teacher finished already.
She clears her throat and takes a deep breath.
Stand!
I stand up with everyone. Since I came here, I've always wondered about something. What do the wheelchair-bound students think about this daily tradition being unable to do it properly? Is it a faux pas to keep to this tradition in a place that bypasses many others for convenience? Even though I never asked anyone during these short weeks here, I've come to the conclusion that they definitely are not insulted. They understand. That's what I like about this school. Nobody is too uptight about anything. Everyone is so considerate and understanding of each other, except me. I wish the whole world could be like this.
Bow!
I turn the page slowly, listening to the rustling sound of the paper makes when my fingers grasp it. I'm restless. It's the summer vacation. No class, no homework, no art club meetings, just free time to spend however I want. It doesn't feel like anything. I tried to cheer up Misha, but I'm not feeling too cheery myself. To be honest, the free time is intimidating. It reminds me of the hospital and the long, meaningless days that had to be filled somehow. The only difference is that there I was bound to the ward, guarded by the Cerberus-like nurses.
Me.
Reading was a good solution back then, but the thought of spending my summer vacation reading books feels nerdy. And I'm a Chad. I would never read books on my summer vacation unless I was literally hospitalized, because I'm not a beta. That has nothing to do with the fact that I'm reading even now. I'm just killing time and trying to fight my anxiety. Besides, my mind is on other matters, stretching in too many directions to make sense of any of them. Thus, the book I've been on since Tuesday is progressing slowly. It feels like this book is taking me longer to read than it took the author to write. I try to put it down for a while, then read some again, start all over from the beginning, read each page twice. Nothing works. I have zero concentration. taking it with me just in case I head out to get some fresh air and inspiration as to what to do. I make my way to the quad, passing by students heading for the gates. The hastiest ones are leaving for their homes already, judging from the luggage some are dragging with them. I guess that no matter how hospitable Yamaku is, home is still home. Still, I heard some people will be staying here over the vacation. The quad is big enough for its center to be shadowless no matter how high or low the sun is. I stop in the middle and bask in the warmth. The brightness makes me squint my eyes when I look towards the main building. It looks all but abandoned already. Yuko wasn't at work today, so the next time I can get books from the school library is after vacation. There's a public library somewhere, I'm sure, but I'm feeling too lethargic to find out where it is. The hall is equally dead, so I have to content myself with returning to the dorms, ending my leisurely walk sooner than I expected. Then again, I wasn't quite sure what I was expecting in the first place. On a moment's impulse, I enter the girls' dorm to see if Rin and Emmy are there. Neither is, so I go back to my own room to dwell on my lethargy. Take a nap. I should talk things through with Rin. She really bothers me. Defying the conceptual equivalent of gravity, she balances on the thin line zigzagging between insanity, incomprehensibility, and instability. Rin affects me too. She challenges me in ways that I didn't know, or more accurately, didn't hope existed. I've started to wonder whether these feelings are really love or I was just fooling myself. Surely it would be insanity to consider that. For the rest of the day, Rin, the hospital, Yamaku, and vacation swirl through my head. I can't concentrate even on concentrating. Thoughts seem to come and go haphazardly, fragmented into two small pieces of cognition. I pick up the book and manage to read 100 pages, but I'm sure by tomorrow I'll have no recollection of what happened in the story. I try to clean up my room, but even that proves to be too bothersome, too time-consuming, and requiring too much attention to detail. It's usually like this. When you have nothing to do, you do nothing even if you could. Yes. Hello? He had a phone this whole time. He acted like this crusty flip phone. As expected, Mom calls me and I end up promising to see if I can get a train ticket for tomorrow, or failing that, the day after. Maybe I'll go downtown tomorrow anyway. I could do some shopping or something. It's not that I need anything, but maybe there are summer sales and I could pick up something. Why am I trying to force myself? Before I was content with having nothing to do, save for kicking the ball every now and then in the field. Now it seems that I can't settle down at all. Is it because I've changed, or because my world has changed? Or maybe you're bored. By 11, the darkness bids me to sleep. The medication bottles are innocuously arranged on my night table, not at all beckoning, rather pointedly reminding me of the reality instead. Is he gonna eat that codeine that he stole? Is it gonna make a reappearance, guest starring the codeine? It's evening, so I have to open 3 bottles, extract 1 large oval-shaped one, 2 small round ones, and 1 large flat that has to be cut in half. Close the bottles and chug down the medications with a chaser of fresh tap water. The water tastes metallic on my tongue. I swallow it along with the pills anyway and head to the bathroom. The mindless job of brushing my teeth is fit for trying to sort my thoughts. One emerges from the mass, clearly rising above the others. I want to see Rin. I can't let my outburst of anger be the last thing between us before the vacation. I have to see her tomorrow. She might be gone already. Sleep overcomes my confused mind with more ease than it should. Yeah, I'd imagine you would just pass out. Oh, it's raining. Okay, so, what did we do this episode? It seems like a lot happened, but also nothing really happened. we kind of are still dealing with the repercussions of our anger outburst. Rin is having conflicted feelings about her success, and we don't understand because we are, what's the word? Directionless. Yes, so we cannot fully understand someone committing their life to a craft because we are not of the same ilk. And that's kind of all that's happened. And now we are gonna go see Rin, and hopefully she won't spit in our face. Or hopefully she does. I don't know. I don't know what Hisao likes. He likes to see girls sleeping. Maybe in another route he'll like someone spitting in his face. We'll see. So we're gonna leave it off there.